Making a main event final table can seem like an impossible task. 20 remain in the Bahamas. Some have come close in the past. Some have made the final, only to leave disappointed. Coming into the last day as favorite, only to fall short of victory. And one has done all of that and more. Mike Mcdonald knows what it feels like to be crowned an EPT champion.
I think I'm more confident as a person now than I was 6 years ago. I'm just gonna try to keep playing the way I have been, try to make it to the final table.
The sun is shining in the Bahamas for the PokerStars.com PCA Main Event, where 20 of poker's finest still hold seats. Today, accomplished stars and bright new talents go to battle on the felt, all hoping to make the final table. Last time, the last Team Pro standing, Vanessa Selbst, was sent to the rail in 42nd place, ending a second deep run at this year's PCA.
I'm really thrilled to, have 2 cashes in my first 2 tournaments in 2014, and I'm just looking to keep that streak alive.
Our only previous EPT winner, Mike Mcdonald, climbed the leaderboard, leaving empty seats in his wake.
Good game.
And Carl Sorrell made the mistake of showing Mattis Murr a bluff early on,
Show the bluff.
only to have Mattis punish him on his way to the chip lead.
You got it. Wow.
On paper, Mike Mcdonald made the super high roller final table, but because of the double bust out on the bubble, he didn't get to come back for the last day and play for the title.
Well, in the main event, I'm sure Timex has every intention of making it to day 6, this time actually taking his seat at the final table and becoming the first 2-time champ.
Mike won his EPT trophy back in 2008 when he was just 18 years old. Since then, he has come close to doing the double on several occasions.
Well, now he's an old man, 24. He's got the experience, the skills, and the chips. He comes into day 5, second on the leaderboard.
And today, all eyes will be on the Canadian as he looks to make a 4th EPT final table.
I used to put a lot of pressure on myself when deep in these EPTs trying to be the first double champion. Now I'm a little more grounded and a little more understanding of the variance.
But the man most confident about making day 6 is the current chip leader, Mattis Murr.
I can't say that I have like a certain strategy. I just try to play as well as I can and, take one pot at a time and, see where it takes me.
It's the penultimate day of one of the biggest poker festivals on the planet. It's the business end of the main event.
Socks? You guys remember Roger Teska, the drunk guy who kept flipping off the camera? Well, there's a good shot he doesn't either.
That's me. Do you want the... Oh, hollow went popped up.
Max Silver cut his teeth on the UK and Ireland poker tour, as did our qualifier, Tom Hall. 25 years old, credits poker for turning his life around.
And everybody's watching Mike Mcdonald, some because he could be the first 2-time champ, others because he doesn't move his arms when he walks. Better have that delicious treat now, Pascal Lafrancois, because Mike Mcdonald will eat your lunch. Woo!
I can't believe I'm gonna get stared today.
I know you won't. I'm just gonna stay out of every pot you're in. So you won't have to worry about the stare down. You're in, I'm out. Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're heading straight over to the secondary feature table. Action already. Mattis Murr has put Roger Teska to the test. Murr is shoved on him. Teska has the best hand, but it will cost him everything he has to make this call.
Teska too short to fold.
Call.
He does call, and he is an 81% favorite to get the double up here.
Murr's behind, but it was totally standard for him too. Unlike the way he buttons that top button.
Murr has flopped an open-ended straight draw. Sevens, sixes, and deuces all working for him. 10 cards that Roger Teska has to fade on the river to survive. It's a deuce!
Straight.
Have to wonder if he's gonna flip out. Huh?
Thank you.
No.
Nearly $71,000 for his 20th place finish. Roger Teska, Bloody Mary in hand, exits the tournament.
Is that figure adjusted for his bar tab?
Blind versus blind, I can't do much.
Yeah, I know. I know.
He probably opens quite a lot as well, so.
You know what you should open? That top button.
Murr boosts his chip lead. So blinds are 12,000, 24,000 with a 3,000 ante. At the main feature table, Jorgen Lindebo has raised under the gun to 48,000. Dominik Panka in the small blind. The Polish online qualifier has queens.
One look at this guy, you know he knows how to handle the ladies. Step 1, 1986 sunglasses.
This is a re-raise, a 3-bet to 128,000. It's Mike McDonald's big blind. He's got ace-jack.
This could be tempting, but Mike's usually more disciplined than this. Remember, the first raise is under the gun, so everyone's weighted towards stronger hands here.
Mike lets it go. Action back on Lindebo.
Nines are a pretty good pocket pair, unless the guy or girl 3-betting you is the tightest player at the table. You can't go folding here, usually.
And the Norwegian calls, and we go heads up to the flop.
Step 2, icy cool demeanor.
Well, it's a king-high flop. One overcard to Panka's queens.
Like a lot of players are going to check their entire ranges here.
But not Dominik Panka. He makes a continuation bet of 122,000.
It's actually pretty tough to get action from any hands you're beating. Except in this case, because Lindebo makes me want to look foolish.
He calls with nines.
And that's good news for Dominik. Lindebo's got one of the only hands he's beating that can call.
8 of spades on the turn, puts a second flush draw out there, pairs the board.
Dominik's going to go for 2 streets. Not sure he'll get it.
195,000.
Ooh.
And Lindebo calls again.
That's pretty surprising. No way he gets 3.
7 of diamonds completes the flop flush draw.
He can't even bet 3 streets of value.
Panka now checks. And Lindebo checks behind. Panka shows the winning hand.
For Lindebo to even call twice means Dominik must have a more aggressive image than Gerard Butler kicking that guy down the well. This is Panka.
Dominik moves up to 1.9 million, meaning he is now 8th in chips, just behind Fabian Ortiz. Mike McDonald sits in second on the leaderboard, but Madis Murr has nearly $1 million more than Mike. He leads with 179 big blinds. Well, there's former chip leader Carl Sorrell all in with pocket threes, called by Fabian Ortiz with aces.
Probably time to say goodbye to old Kyle.
Looking for a 3 on the turn or river.
Hit the 3 or hit the water slides.
2 outs with 1 card to come.
And it doesn't look like Kyle is wearing his binkini.
He's gone.
Good game, everybody. Good game, man. Good luck.
Not too shabby for a guy who doesn't play a ton of poker. Granted, he does bunk with Jason Mercier, so he probably learns a lot just by watching him sleep. I know I do.
Kyle exits in 18th place, which means it's time to balance the tables. We're going to need the big blind from the main stage.
That's me.
Boom!
What do you know?
That's so sweet.
What do you know? Oh, you're the best, Mike.
Yeah.
Celebrating not having to pay the big blind. Wow, more like Mike Mcdonald. Mike's got an odd sense of humor, and I have to say, most of the time when I can tell he's joking, I really like it.
He will take a seat at our secondary feature table. Well, Mike McDonald will be another spot for Tom Hall to worry about. We spoke to our qualifier at the start of the day.
Realistically today, if I don't get to like the 2.5 million, it's going to be hard to win. Like, I'm going to play correctly. I'm not going to chase like a big stack particularly. I'm just going to play as I should, according to the money jumps.
Oh, there's another all-in, and this one is a race. Adrian Bussman is the player at risk.
Like the Sopranos versus The Wire, one of these two has a slight advantage.
Bussman with the pocket pair, Max Silver with the overcards. Fives holding on the flop.
Sweet flop for fives.
The turn card is another 6.
Not a great turn, though, eh?
Silver picks up some counterfeit outs. And rivers the ace.
Jack. Two pair with the jack.
Bussman's playing the board. Silver wins it with aces and 6s with a jack kicker.
Oh, I was gonna say going out on a counterfeited pair like that is the worst, but then I remembered hangnails.
And with Bussman exiting in 17th, we are down to 2 tables at the 2014 PCA Main Event. Here we are, the one and only Ocean Club.
You know, I hate to burst your bubble, but there's ocean clubs all over the world. There's one in Columbus, Ohio.
No, this is not the Ocean Club. This is the one and only Ocean Club.
Oh, wait. Now, I'm no marine biologist, but I'm pretty sure there's also more than one ocean.
Here at the PokerStars.com PCA Main Event, we are down to 2 tables. Mike Mcdonald is headlining the secondary feature table, and taking his old seat on the main stage is EPT 10 Prague finalist Max Silver.
James, how bad do you want Max Silver to win this thing so you can go, Silver gets gold?
Silver did get gold in Season 1 of the UK IPT, winning the Dublin event for 72,000 euros.
Well, fine.
Fabian Ortiz is an LAPT champion. He's just joined the feature table. He's raised from the hijack with 6s. Max Silver has 9-7 of diamonds in the cutoff.
Oh, looks like it's going to be hi-ho Silver here.
He re-raises. He 3-bets to 135k.
And this 3-bet works particularly well when you and your opponent are both stacked as deep as the Mariana Trench. Yeah, deep. I mean, he could have just called, but in general, it's better to take an aggressive line, especially against who you perceive to be a passive player.
With the action back on Ortiz, he calls, heads up to the flop, and Ortiz is going to have to play out of position without the betting lead. Ace 7-3, second pair for Silver. Ortiz checks to him.
Once Silver flops a pair, he is in a weird spot. I think checking behind might be the play. Most better hands aren't folding for 1 bet, but maybe they will for 2.
He continues for 120,000.
Ortiz does have one of the few worst hands that can call.
Well, those green chips are worth 25,000 each.
Looks like maybe he knows his hand isn't good enough to call. He's going to turn his pair into a bluff.
He check raises to 250,000.
And Ortiz's problem is that there aren't too many value hands he can have here. That and it looks like he put on his son's shirt before he left this morning.
Silver re-raises. He makes it 575,000.
Nice read by Max Silver, although technically he is bluffing with the best hand.
Ortiz folds. And great play by Max Silver, who was actually close to leaving the poker scene last year.
I first learned poker from my granddad. He taught me poker by dealing himself a royal flush, which was apparently at the time I thought it was real, but I think looking back on it, it was fake. Really loved the game, but wasn't very good at it at first, and then I started playing online. Again, I wasn't very good at it at first, and then eventually the big point of turning around was where I got coaching from Jason Somerville, and that really helped my game and really kind of shot me into the atmosphere in terms of now I have these tools to learn with and I can use them on anything. Last year, in 2013, I had a really bad run of it. I was very close to just leaving poker completely, and I kind of stopped caring, and then with that stopping caring, I stopped being afraid to make certain plays, and now I have kind of no fear, and I think now I'm pretty hyper-aggressive, but equally I'm very aware of my spots, and I know when to kind of hold back and wait for a better hand. I started running well again, and I really gone a really big heater in the last few months. I came 6th in EPT Prague about a month ago, and that for me was like my first deep run in EPT. I learned a lot from it. So if I can beat 6th, I'll be pretty damn happy. Looking ahead, I think I'm in a really good spot to make the final table and then potentially go further and potentially win. But that's a long way away right now, so I have to focus.
Max Silver is due to break through at any minute like a chest-bursting alien through John Hurt.
Well, Max is witnessing a huge all-in. A massive pot. Ace-King versus Kings.
Saut's about to be Saut.
He does have 30% equity. Looking for an ace.
This is just a sick cooler. This is a bigger cooler than most of Canada.
3 outs for the Frenchman. Francois on the verge of winning a 4.5 million chip pot. The river card is a 4. Antoine Saut busts in 15th place.
Salut, Saut. French-Canadian versus French. Like checkers versus chess.
The former WSOP main event finalist walks away with nearly $91,000. Well, Pascal Lefrancois actually won a World Series bracelet back in 2010.
Top 2 for sure.
And a month later, he finished 11th in the main event, his biggest cash to date. In the PCA main event, he's up to nearly 4.6 million. He's the new tournament boss. Mike Mcdonald and Mattis Moore aren't that far behind him. Max Silver and Fabian Ortiz make up the top 5 with 14 players remaining. Meanwhile, it is day 2 of the high roller event here at the Atlantis Resort.
I'm gonna try to read Jonathan's tweet with that exact number of H's. Yeah. Did I get it?
Another Canadian in the high roller event, Daniel Negreanu.
Why the scarf, Fabian Quas? Hickeys. Wasn't his tweet right before this one talking about what a bad job I was doing?
Yeah, he's kind of fickle. Of course, Vanessa Selbst is the reigning high roller champ.
And you know Vanessa's a lawyer because she manages to describe getting lucky as fortunate circumstances. I object, Your Honor.
Well, let's head back to the main event, and on our secondary feature table, there is 3-way action. Mike Mcdonald has flopped top 2. Hungarian qualifier Pal Zabrita was the pre-flop raiser.
Welcome to the party, pal.
With top pair, he continues for 79,000.
Take it easy, pal.
Tom Hall folds pocket 10s. Mike, an 83% favorite, just calls in position.
Yeah, getting called there is gonna get your attention though, won't it, pal?
7 of clubs on the turn.
Yeah, you better slow down, pal.
I've just had that light bulb moment where I realized this joke's gonna go on for some time.
No, some of the time I'm saying his name, but the other times I'm calling him pal.
Looks like he'll fire again. 160,000.
And in this spot, Mike's very confident he has the best hand. If he's thinking about anything, it's maybe raising.
Once again, he just calls.
I like calling a lot. Raising bloats the pot and reps very strong.
The river is a 3rd club.
I'd be pretty worried about what Mike's got at this point.
Zabrita slows down, he checks.
Love the way Mike's played this. Now he can wrap a busted draw.
All in.
Mike shoves, and that bet will put Pal Zabrita all in.
This is great. And in case you were wondering, this is how you balance against the times when you bluff the river. And if you are thinking of calling, you'd better think again, pal.
It's for his tournament life.
Call.
He calls!
Call.
Call, all in and call.
And he is eliminated in 14th place.
Wow, he went for the 0 call.
Ah, bad luck, pal. Good playing with you, pal. See you next time, pal.
He walks away with nearly $91,000. That's his first EPT cash and biggest cash to date. And talking of big, Mike Mcdonald's now playing close to 5.4 million. He's the new tournament chip leader.
And he is a nice-looking boy.
Well, back at the main feature table, it's Max Silver's big blind. So we're going to play this hand from his perspective. It's time to sweat with Max.
Max what? Max Payne? Max Carnage? Max Overdrive?
Well, it's Isaac Barron who'll get things started here, raising from under the gun +1 to 54,000. Barron, a very accomplished player with $2.6 million in live cashes.
This raise suspicious coming from fairly early.
Everyone else has folded. Max's hand is King 8 of diamonds.
To some, this would be a questionable defend, but we're deep enough, and the blinds and antes make a significant pot, plus I'm a little bored.
Max puts in the additional 30,000. The flop is Jack 10-3 with 2 diamonds. Flush draw for Silver.
At the moment, I think we're in check call mode.
There's the check. Here comes the continuation bet from Isaac Barron.
Unlike your parents when you're in college and it was call check mode, you call them, they send a check.
65,000. Silver calls.
So far, this hand ain't exactly rocket surgery.
What? King on the turn, top pair for Max.
I think we're still in check call mode, only now we can feel a little bit better about it.
Here comes the second barrel from Barron. That's a bet of 140,000.
Top pair, second up flush draw, no brainer.
Max calls again. 3 of clubs on the river, pairs the board.
That looks like a pretty whatever river, which it is.
Max checks for a third time.
But I am not loving it if Isaac bets again here. I actually don't think we can call.
Looks like he will bet again. Question is how much. And the answer is 295,000.
Well, that's more than half the pot. We're playing kings and threes with a jack kicker. We cannot beat any value bets. And Isaac Barron's pretty solid, and I don't think he's horsing around from early position the way some of these other knuckleheads might do.
Raise pre-flop, continued flop, bet turn, bet river.
The only hand we're really beating is a bluff with like ace-x of diamonds. Having said all that, I probably don't fold, and I call it top pair because it's top pair, man!
I fold.
Max lets it go.
What do you say?
Fold. What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
Isaac Barron had ace-queen. He turned the nut straight.
And we correctly folded top pair. Oh my god, we are so good. Mostly Max, but some us also.
Would you have done a Stapleton? Would you have called with a king there? Tag your tweets. PCA 2014.
This is just like the hammock where they find Solange, where she's all twisted and sandy and hanging there kind of going,
What are you talking about? Who the hell is Solange?
Casino Royale, Joe. This is where they shot all the scenes in Casino Royale.
Oh, you're right. And right over there, that's where he comes up out of the water like all sexy. Oh, and speaking of, who are you? Me likey.
We're drawing nearer to the final table at the PokerStars.com PCA Main Event. During the break, we lost one from each table. Dominik Panka dispatched Norway's Jørgen Lindbo from the feature table, as Daniel Gamez cracked the pocket kings of Fabio Freitas on the secondary table. 11 now remain, and we're putting the 2 biggest stacks center stage, as Mcdonald and Murr continue to battle for the chip lead.
Siat Open, what country are they from?
We are currently playing 5-handed on the main stage, and all 5 players are online qualifiers.
That's actually pretty cool.
Blinds 15-30 with a 4K ante. Action folded to Mike McDonald in the small blind. He calls with ace-3 suited. Sham Srinivasan has queen 7 off.
Queen 7 is borderline. I think most of your top level players are going to say it's just strong enough to check.
Sham raises, makes it 130,000.
And like the phrase YOLO, Mike is going nowhere.
He calls for an additional 100K. And flops the nut flush and top 2 pair for Srinivasan.
Hills, Kula.
Mike checks.
This flop is a Trav Sham mockery. And he's got to bet it, too, because usually there'd be so much to get value from.
Srinivasan isn't that well known on the live circuit, but he's clocked up more than $7 million in online tournament winnings.
Jeez.
He's continued for 160,000.
Well, they're both really deep, so my guess is that Mike's going to go for the raise on the turn.
Mike just calls. The turn card is the 9 of hearts, changes nothing. Mike checks a second time.
And again, this is just unfortunate for Sham. He probably feels like he has to bet this again, but it's probably going to leave him in shambles.
Into a pot of 600,000. He bets 315,000.
If Mike raises now, maybe Sham can get away from it. Because if Mike does raise, he's probably not even going to be raising many sets in this spot. He's certainly not raising Queen 9. A raise here would pretty much polarize Mike to flushes and not flushes, not anythings.
Well, once again, he just calls.
Oh.
The river card is the 9 of spades. It pairs the board. It counterfeits Srinivasan's 2 pair.
Which is actually great for him.
Got counterfeited, I flopped top 2. Ah, you could have won a big pot there, buddy.
So check on the river, and Mike had 621k to his stack.
I think Mike played it great, by the way. Sometimes a bad river card comes before you can finish it off.
I flopped top 2, he flopped a nut flush.
There's no one back there.
Nice flop.
Yeah, I'll take it. I've been sick this whole week. I haven't been sleeping all that well. I've still been in the zone and pretty focused when I'm playing. But I have been kind of feeling at the table that maybe I'm like more tailboxy or like less comfortable than I normally am. Obviously there's no mirror in front of me, but I feel as if I've been like less comfortable and more readable than normal. I would say that so many poker players kind of buy into this mentality that, you know, if you're well rested, if you're eating well in the gym, like meditating on a juice cleanse, you're going to like win tournaments. But like here I am running about as well as I ever have in a tournament. So maybe as a result of all that, I'm gonna end up crashing and burning. And so far, it really seems as if this is kind of goes against the whole, like, you know, if your mind is right, you're going to be playing well and winning.
So when I say Mike Mcdonald is the sickest player out there, you guys can see what I did there, right?
Yes, and we're not overly impressed. Blind still 15-30. Action at the feature table is on our online qualifier, Tom Hall. He's under the gun, and he has ace-7.
I love our online qualifier. He shines bright like a diamond.
Raise? He's raised it to 60,000.
Short-handed ace-7 becomes a lot more playable.
Sham Srinivasan has ace-9 on the button.
Same goes for ace-9. And we know he's got old Redbeard dominated.
Sham calls.
Hey, if Blackbeard drank ale, do you think Redbeard drank ginger ale?
Daniel Gamez in the small blind folds, and Mattis Murr calls out of the big blind with King-Jack. So three-way to the flop. It's all clubs. No one actually has a club, but Murr does have a king. He's ahead with top pair. Action check to the pre-flop aggressor, and Tom Hall is going to continue into 2 opponents.
This will be a tenacious little c-bet now, wouldn't it?
104,000. Srinivasan is out, but Murr ain't folding.
Gonna take more than one blast from this Pirates cannon, that's for sure.
104.
He calls, heads up to the turn, which is the 10 of spades. Murr checks.
And it looks like we're gonna see a C bet. In general, I think it's better to do this when you could potentially have some equity when you're called, even the 7 of clubs. But Pirates play by pirate rules, don't they?
215,000.
Still don't think King-Jack is folding.
Murs counted out a call. He makes the call. We're going to the river, which is the 10 of hearts. Mert with a lock on the hand. He checks.
Will it be the skull and crossbones or the white flag?
It's the latter. And Mert wins an 853,000 chip pot.
Don't you burn out now, Qualifier. We have invested literally hundreds of dollars in graphics on you.
Mattis Mer up to 5.4 million. And he is a serial online qualifier. So far this season, there have been 4 EPT main events, and Mattis has qualified for 3 of them.
Nice to see him finally start to loosen up. Check out that top button.
At the secondary table, Isaac Barron and Max Silver have gone heads up to the turn. Barron, with top 2, has checked. Max Silver, with top pair and a flush draw, has bet 90,000.
Oh yeah, here come the check raise, son. The inventors of Baron Moon check raising.
250k.
Max has got to call his flush draw. Too good of a price now, plus the jack would sometimes be good. And I'm starting to get the impression Isaac Barron doesn't mess around too often.
Max calls. He's looking for a heart on the river, but it's a diamond.
Ah, it's red. Doesn't count. It's a pretty big brick on the river.
And having check raised the turn, Barron bets the river 385,000. Max Hero calls.
Maxie paid him off because there weren't a ton of value hands out there, but there were plenty of missed draws.
Silver down to 2 million. Isaac Barron up to 2.7 million.
Thank you.
The adventures of Baron Moon chip uppin'.
Well, it's been 6 years since we last saw Isaac Barron on the tour. Isaac Barron, a lot of people tipped him to win this tournament.
Quad.
Oh, here we go again.
1 minute for decision,
Now,
please.
surely, last time Chorney called for the clock, I said that was a tell of a big hand, but now Barron actually, he saw it happen before.
Yeah.
He saw Chorney call for the clock, he saw that he had a monster. Let that be a clue.
Oh, go.
Oh,
Player is already
yes.
and call.
God, I want to
Isaac
bang
on
these
it.
kids' heads together.
Isaac shows ace queen.
Everything about that is
and
wrong.
Glenn
He's
shows
missed the
pair
tell of the
aces.
clock, and the raise is too big.
Barron needs a miracle. There's
9
a
of spades on the
spade.
turn.
He needs another one on the river. Chorney does not want to look. It's not
King
a
of
spade, it's a club.
No, so Isaac
Glenn Chorney wins the part, and Isaac Barron is our 4th place finisher.
Isaac was shoving pretty thin back then. These days, everything he does is thin. What a transformation, meow.
Back to the feature table, where the action's been folded to Mike Mcdonald on the button, and we are going to sweat with Mike.
Finally, someone who knows what he's doing. Oh, crud, what is he doing?
Queen 4 off suit, and he raises to 60,000.
Even though our button range is supposed to be super wide, this is still pretty dang light.
Sham Srinivasan folds the small blind. It's Daniel Gamez in the big blind. He works for the family business back in Guatemala, and talking of family, in a few weeks' time, he'll become a dad.
Aw, baby needs a new pair of shoes.
Well, he's defended his big blind. It's an ace-8 deuce rainbow flop. Gamez checks.
We've pretty much got to continue here.
Mike does continue. 75,000.
And when we get called here, this is pretty much where I give up.
Gamez does indeed call.
Something tells me that Stair's not going to give up so easily, though, is it?
Well, it's a 5 on the turn. Mike now has a gut shot.
Actually, I might find the hoot spot and put in another bet once we've picked up more outs.
Gamez has checked.
We can at least bluff with the safety net of binking the straight on the river.
There's a second barrel from Mike, 175,000.
And this is our attempt to fold out better king and queen high hands.
Uh-oh. Check raise from Gamez, 450,000.
Yeah, the problem now is even if we're getting bluffed, we're not beating every bluff, so we can't call. We can fold or we can get all medieval for the rest of this guy's chips, but he hasn't left himself a lot of room to fold.
Mike folds.
Smell you later.
Gamez shows King Queen. He was bluffing with the best hand.
We got bluffed. The sick part is he thinks he bluffed us, Mike Mcdonald. Maybe his name isn't Gamez, maybe it's Games, because he just played us.
Well, Mike has given up the chip lead. Mattis Mur is back on top. Pascal Lefrancois is the other player with more than 5 million. At the bottom end of the leaderboard, our qualifier is slipping into the danger zone.
Danger zone!
Call Kenny Loggins, because Tom Hold's playing 19 big blinds.
James, I was gonna do the blinds and antes, but I can't find where I wrote them down. Did you see my notes anywhere?
Let me help you, Joe. 20,000, 40,000 with a 5,000 ante.
5,000 ante. Got it.
10 remain, one away from the unofficial final table. Action folded to Mattis Mur in the small blind.
Who must feel practically naked now that he's taken that button down.
He raises, makes it 90k. Tom Hall has King 9 in the big blind. And he shoves!
This hand is kind of like that wake-up scene in Groundhog Day. It's gonna go down like this pretty much every single time. And Bill Murray is about to slap the alarm clock.
I call.
He calls, and our qualifier is at risk.
Good luck.
Hang in there, Qualifier. Yes, I don't want to have to redo the graphics, but also you can tell it means so much to this kid.
He's got 2 live cards, but there's an ace on the flop. That's going to be hard to come back from. Tom Hall needs running cards. And he's drawing dead on the turn.
You played awesome.
Tom Hall satellited into this tournament for $215. He leaves us in 10th place, cashing for 112k. And talking of online qualifiers, the 2 biggest stacks in the tournament both won their seats in online satellites. 9 players remain.
I had Mcdonald on my left, which is obviously very difficult. He was playing pretty good. He wasn't like hammering on me until the end there. I feel like I played very confidently leading up to this point, more so than I've ever played in like a higher stakes tournament. But like I said, I'm in for $250, so my return on investment is absurd. Like, so I feel pretty good. It's just 10th place, you know, 10th is, it always hurts a little bit. But overall, like, when you think of the big picture, I've run pretty good, you know.
We'll find out how you can join us at the next PCA by visiting PokerStars.com.
Remember that scene in Casino Royale where they're like right here in that Aston Martin and he's all like, let's go back to my place?
Can I give you a lift home?
Sure. Okay, I'll come in, but only for a cuddle.
We're down to 9 players, but there are only 8 seats at the final table, which means someone's PokerStars.com PCA main event journey is about to come to a heartbreaking end. And for the first time, all the remaining players in the tournament are sat at one table, with the blinds at 2,000, 4,000 with a 5,000 ante.
Now I know how the 13th Apostle felt before the Last Supper. Little known fact, his name was Terrence.
Action is on Fabian Ortiz. He folds. Mike Mcdonald is out. Mattis Mur gives it up. Max Silver has put on a jacket, but isn't going to play this hand.
Classy.
Daniel Gamez on the button. Folds. Pascal Lefrancois has ace 6 of hearts in the small blind.
Well, there goes the walk.
No raise though, just a call. Dominik Panka. 6-5 offsuit in the big blind.
You want to raise your strong hands and your weak hands from the big blind, which Dominik Panka is not. Blind, that is, despite his comically out-of-date sunglasses.
He has raised to 110,000.
Good sizing, too. Doesn't give Pascal too great a price.
Francois calls. It's a queen-queen 6 flop, and Panka has serious kicker problems.
Domination nation. Oh, did you see that? Dominik almost had an emotion.
Francois checks. Panka continues. 105,000.
Rough flop for Panka. Usually a 6 can bet twice on this board for value. And this is the opposite of value.
Francois calls. Four of clubs on the turn. Panka now drawing to a chop. Pascal has checked.
And even though we know Panka's behind, I think the move here is to keep betting.
Panka checks behind. Jonathan Duhamel railing his buddy, Pascal Lefrancois. It's a queen on the river. They are now chopping.
Well, that's a good river for Dominik, but an even better river for any music lovers out there.
Pascal clearly intends to bet the river. 265,000.
This is the easiest call since casting Patrick Stewart as Professor Charles Xavier. Actually, you know what? If this kid were a mutant, it would explain a lot.
Panka does call. They will chop it up because this is a chop pot. And you know what they say? Everyone loves a chop pot.
Single coming soon.
We are, of course, on the final table bubble. Everyone now guaranteed $135,000. 7-figure scores for the runner-up and the winner of the PCA Main Event.
You can't take first if you go out 9th. Remember I said that.
That actually makes sense. Action on Mike Mcdonald. He faults. Madismer is out. Max Silver gives this one up. Daniel Gamez also passes.
Daniel Games.
Is Pascal Lefrancois interested? Nope. Dominik Panka on the button. Pocket jacks.
He should raise. I don't know if I mentioned that. He should probably raise, though.
And he does raise. Makes it 80,000. Sham Srinivasan in the small blind. Folds with flair. Isaac Barron in the big blind. Has pocket kings.
This is just ice cold. And look at the dynamic. Button, big blind, big stacks, big bleeping bubble.
We're set for a 3-bet here. Barron re-raising to 275,000.
The one thing Dominik's got going for him is position. He can just call.
And he does.
Opts not to go broke pre-flop, and I love it because he's 75 big blinds deep and he doesn't have to.
Ace, ace 10 on the flop.
Barron's got nearly the top of his range in a spot where he could be light, so this bet is probably a good one.
200,000. Dominik Panka calls. The turn card, the 3 of diamonds. 2 flush draws out there now.
See if Barron slows down. Yep.
He checks.
Dominik's got a shot at a free card.
Dominik Panka is not checking behind. He is taking over the betting. 365,000.
He's got to be trying to fold out kings and queens specifically because he can't be called by worse too often. Certainly never folding out better. Some folks may call this a punt, but I'm going to wait to see what happens before I cast judgment. I still think this is a call for Isaac with a reevaluate on the river. He's getting almost 4-1.
Isaac Barron lays down the kings.
It wasn't a punt. Wasn't a punt.
Never underestimate the power of the final table bubble and the fear of finishing in 9th place. Well, we've talked about Mike Mcdonald's quest to become the first ever 2-time champ. Dominik Panka wants to be the first Polish player to win an EPT main event. And should he triumph here at the PCA, he would jump to number 1 on Poland's all-time money list. Daniel Gamez under the gun here. Ace-4. He folds. King 10 for Pascal Lefrancois. And it's a raise from under the gun +1, 85,000. Sham Srinivasan has ace 10.
It's got to be a tempting hand, but there's not much you can do with lots of action still behind you. Even though we know it's the best hand so far.
He folds. Isaac Barron has pocket tens.
And I think that may be a tell, Fabian Ortiz.
A little bit out of order, effectively acting out of turn. So Barron has just called. Madismur has folded the small blind. Max Silver calls out of the big blind with ace-4 of diamonds.
And Max can call the worst ace because he's closing the action.
Well, top pair for Pascal, up and down straight draw for Isaac. Max has the nut flush draw. He would have a gut shot as well, were there any tens left in the deck.
That flop dough.
Check.
Action checked around. 8 of hearts on the turn, doesn't change anything.
Max looks super stressed out. Probably because he only has 15 big blinds behind and because he wanted to check raise all in on the flop.
Jonathan Duhamel still rooting for Pascal Lefrancois.
I mean, we're on the bubble for the final table of the PCA. Of course a rail's developing.
Hold on.
Max shoves.
Shover me timbers, Long John Silver. Pascal cannot fold.
He calls with top pair.
Baron sure can fold.
He does fold. Showdown. And there's a 77% chance that we lose Max Silver here.
Okay.
And that will give us our official PCA Main Event final table.
Hang in there, Lisa.
I had 2 tens, so
I had ace 10.
no tens coming. Need a diamond.
Max has 7 outs. The river card is another king. Max Silver is eliminated in 9th place.
Nah, bummer. Max definitely has the potential to break through with one of these. He is a very, very good player.
But on this occasion, he bubbles the final table.
Okay. Max's fiance offering her congratulations to Mike Mcdonald's dad. As Pascal Lafrancois does the table a favor, flops huge and busts Max Silver in 9th place, and we're left with 8 of the best.
And they will come back for the final day to play for the title.
But we're going to get it tomorrow, don't worry. Yeah. We still made that team.
Plenty of talent at the final table. And a real international flavor.
Good job. That's kind of sweet.
Exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm pumped. Tomorrow should be fun.
While of the 8 players coming into day 6, 5 are online qualifiers. It's a deep stack final table. The low man, Sham Srinivasan, has a very playable 37 big blinds, but only 3 players are above average. And it's still Madismur and Mike McDonald leading the way.
Winning a second EPT would be really exciting. Like every one of these I play, I think it'd be cool to win it. I guess I feel that way with every poker tournament, but especially with these EPTs. And I'm feeling, pretty good going into tomorrow.
Next time, can Mike McDonald make history and become the first 2-time champ? Or will the EPT etch another new name into the record books?
I would definitely enjoy being the first person to win 2 EPTs. Winning $1.8 million would be the biggest score of my career.
Do you know what these guys are telling?
What are they saying?
They say you can't handle the pressure.
Just crushing my dreams.